Then you also saw the pictures of horses and whips.
Oh, yeah.
That was my tried to cover it.
You guys were in my basement?
Numbers. Yeah, they don't want to give you these numbers. Even it went up to the president. You had Psaki, you had Biden, you had Harris condemning. This is the point. You can't rely on the media, to be honest. But you don't think that former Vice President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris, you don't think they have the ability to figure out if this is a real story or not? We can figure it out with researchers, me and ones who don't even pull pictures of Billie Eilish's boobs. And you mean to tell me that the former vice president can't? Here they are condemning our officers doing their job on a story they know to be fake.
The secretary also conveyed to civil rights leaders earlier this morning that we would no longer be using horses in Del Rio.
What I saw...
Because they're effective.
Who gives a crap about horses?
Those individuals on horseback.
Give those Haitians some Zyrtec, send them on their way.
The way they were is horrible. And I fully support what is happening right now, which is a thorough investigation into exactly what is going on there. And we really have to do a lot more to recognize that as a member of the Western Hemisphere, we've got to support some very basic needs that the people of Haiti have.
To see people treated like they did, horses really running them over, people being strapped, it's outrageous. I promise you those people will pay. They will be an investigation underway now, and there will be consequences. There will be consequences. It's an embarrassment, but it's beyond an embarrassment. It's dangerous. It's wrong. It sends the wrong message around the world.
And if any of those things were true, you still wouldn't really have a point. But
he had just been watching a spaghetti western.
Yeah, exactly.
No idea.
I was watching, the rifleman. How is his lever action so fast? Huh? What?
This is.
Didn't need a semi-automatic.
The wrong message.
Fired it in the sky. No, if any of that were true, sure. My question to you is, again, comment below. What do you think? Do you think that these people, meaning the administration, don't have the ability to conduct a simple fact check? They weren't whipping anybody. They weren't running them over with horses. And I don't understand why horses are relevant if it's a horse or a four-wheeler. The allergies have nothing to do with it. This is them. Right here is video proof that no one was being whipped. Just trying to get in here. They're saying no. Just grabbing him, saying, "Hey, stop breaking the law."
Stop breaking the law, asshole!
Anyway, the video goes on. You can that's all it is.
That was it.
So we're supposed to believe that everyone in this administration doesn't know the difference between whipping somebody in reins. Then again, they don't know the difference between 800 border crossings or interactions a day and 6,000.
Right. By the way, you know what they do with those reins? They sometimes will hit the horse so the horse knows to go.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
and it's not cruel to the horse. It's just like, I'm going this way. Okay, good.
Just to be clear, this is the asylum claim. I actually would argue this. Canadians have more of a claim to asylum because pastors have been jailed for practicing their faith. So there's actual religious persecution. These Haitian migrants, they're actually coming from Chile and Brazil, where they settled, many of them, for a long time. Yeah. They're not fleeing a government that's persecuting them. They are fleeing what they believe. This is not me saying it, to be an inferior country, to come to a better country. Just because we have better things and we have a good country, which the left can never acknowledge, except when sort of tacitly acknowledging the border crisis, doesn't mean that you have a right to asylum. Hey, yeah, but I want that. I'm sorry, is not a right to asylum because there are people here who need that. There are people here who need jobs. There are people here who pay into the system, who need to make sure that they still have Social Security when they're still here. Yeah. Let's just be clear about that. It is not a claim to asylum. Asylum means that you are fleeing a specific political, religious persecution at the hands of your government. These people just don't like the shitty countries.
Absolutely. And like I said earlier, the country shoppings, the reason that I said that is because for asylum claims, you have to go to the nearest safe country. And safe is kind of this loose term, right? I don't know if that's the legal term that they use, but it's like, all right, if there's a war going on in the country next to you as well, then, keep going.
Safe is a loose term when you're referring to South America. Anyway, they have 401ks for kidnapping.
Well, exactly. But you don't get to go like Haiti. First of all, Haiti is just kind of in the middle. You've got the United States and you've got South America. You made the wrong choice to begin with. So that's your fault, right? If you'd have come here first, if you'd gotten on rafts or something like that, it's a horrible thing, but then maybe your claim is legit. but you went through several countries. You don't get to come to some point and say, "Oh, I want to leave my country." Oh, where would you like to claim asylum? Canada's kind of nice. I don't know. Maybe go to the Alps. Do you like mountains? Yeah. Like, we can send you over to Europe. We can send you to China. That's kind of bad labor policies.
Yeah, not so great.
Like, that's not how.
Also,
it works.
not very fond of the folks of color in China.
Yeah, well,
I don't know if you guys know this, but racism actually does exist. And I mean, like, real racism outside of the United States. Yeah. Go to Singapore. See what I'm talking about.
You know what really pissed me off, too, about this is that Kamala Harris and everybody else basically said, this reminds me of our troubled history here in the United States where horses were used to round up slaves. And I was like, are you kidding me? The most effective way to keep people from coming in the water, in the kind of wilderness, is a horse. This has nothing to do with slavery. You're just trying to play the soft background music and make everybody go.
Horses racist.
Let's find common ground. Okay, let's make this a more urban roundup of illegal immigrants. Send some Chrysler 3000s down there.
Okay,
is it 3,000 or 2,000?
Depends. There's a Chrysler 200 and a 300.
Oh, a 300.
The 300 is the one that looks like the Bentley.
I was going to say the fake Bentley.
The fake Bentley, where the Cat Williams joke of.
Yeah.
It looked like a Chrysler 300, and there's nothing wrong with that.
There ain't nothing wrong with that Chrysler 300. Oh, this mother... What is the media doing right now? Well, look, this is a sleight of hand, right? And I want you to understand what they're doing. He's palming it, right? The numbers, 800-something border interactions a day under Trump 21-year low versus 6,000. 52% are exempt under this 42 bull crap, right? Right now we just talked about how 12,000 of the 15,000. So these numbers kind of, they ebb and flow. It's most of these people are being let through the United States.
Yeah.
And there is an exponential increase in people flooding over the border. And it's very clear from Donald Trump to Joe Biden. Now, correlation, causation. Look, come on. 800 to 6,000 going on nonstop. It's not a mundane detail, Michael. So what the media has been doing is trying to distract you about COVID, when really what affects you more than if you're a 30-year-old, 0.0-something% mortality rate, again, if you're a 30-year-old, is perhaps the labor force being undercut through people who are willing to accept third world wages tax-free. These are things that affect you day to day. And by the way, just so happens to be a tremendous voter base if you don't require some kind of voter ID. Isn't that nice?
Watch Louder with Crowder live, Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern.